If you are serious about strengthening and flattening your mommy tummy, you have to actually sit down and create an action plan. You will be successful with this action plan if you identify and say no to distractions. 3 reasons why this is important to know. 1, you have delayed your transformation because you haven't actually sat down and thought the process through. 2, making an action plan actually helps you to be motivated and helps you get clarity towards your goal. 3, identifying distractions helps you know how to preserve your precious time and focus for the goals you actually want to achieve. My name is Rejane Mora. I have helped thousands of moms rehab their core with my 8-week core challenge, helping moms tighten and strengthen their tummy and get rid of back pain and leaking. But here's the thing, the exercises only work if you do them. That's why I'm here to share with you the topic on how to set goals and then say no. This is really for my moms who say they're too busy to work out, and I get it. But I want you to ask yourself, am I too busy? Or does my overwhelm or boredom lead me to distractions? Let's dive a little deeper into that topic. I am a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids. We homeschool them, and I run this business. I'm often really, really busy, and not just literally busy, but as a lot of you moms know, I am mentally overwhelmed. I get tired just thinking of the things I have to do before I even get around to actually doing them. Ironically, earlier in my motherhood, especially when my kids were a lot smaller, and still even now, my youngest is 4, my oldest is 15. Earlier in my motherhood, I actually would get super bored, not for lack of things to do, but just the monotony of doing the mundane tasks of cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, doing dishes. And it's interesting because as I was surfing around online, I love to look at things on productivity. And Dr. K, a psychiatrist, was talking about how both situations, being overwhelmed or bored, can lead you to having this negative internal state and wanting to find some escape from that. And that's when the mom brain kind of looks for distractions. I found this quote from another guy that I like to listen to on productivity. His name is Rian Doris, and it really summed it up. It says, distractions are welcomed when we are bored or anxious. Bored if the task is under your skill level, and anxious if it's above. For me, I get temporary relief from checking my socials. You get overwhelmed, you get bored, you end up wanting to look for distractions. It's good to know this about our brain so we can know that this is where this is coming from. That's why I'm explaining this to you, because once I realized this, I was like, oh, this is how the brain works. If I'm overwhelmed or if I'm bored, I'm naturally going to want to find a way to relieve that feeling. And that's when we welcome distractions, whatever it might be. For me, an easy distraction is scrolling on my socials. I call it research. As you know, I'm often online. You see me all over, so it's part of my job, so I can call it research, right? I never mean for it to be a long time that I'm on my socials, but before I know it, 15 to 30 minutes have gone by and I'm in the middle of my Pinterest feed doing research. It's interesting because after some reflection on this, I realized something, and it's best summed up by this quote that I got from Seth Goden, and it says, "You don't need more time in your day, you need to decide." And I kind of reworded that, and I think you might have seen that as a quote in some of my socials. I put, you don't need more time in your day, you need to decide what deserves your time. For me, I realize when I am overwhelmed or I'm bored, I welcome distraction. And for me, my distraction is getting on my socials. And I say I'm just going to be on there for a second and check a quick few things. But 15 or 30 minutes passes by and that time is gone, right? But I just found a whole 15 to 30 minutes where I could have been doing some kind of self-care. I can easily do a 15-minute workout. And if I do that consistently, just 4 days out of the week, I can have that stronger, tighter core that I might want, or any other self-care goal. But obviously, I know scrolling on the socials, for me, it was just more satisfying in the moment. So that's why I would do it. But I had to sit down and think about it. Is this giving me long-term satisfaction? What do I really want to do? What will make me actually feel better? I want to share with you my new approach, and I'm just about to finish up with my 4-step plan to put goals before your distractions. I'm not here to tell you socials are bad, because here we are talking on socials, and I don't want you to get off socials. I don't want you deleting your Facebook and your YouTube, because then we will never see each other again. So socials aren't bad. It's just we want to make sure that we're putting our goals, our self-care goals, the things that make us feel really good at the end of the day, putting it before our distractions come in. Here's my 4-step plan to putting your goals before your distractions. At number 1, at night, handwrite out your self-care goal. You may make it your goal to exercise for 15 minutes the next day. That's it. Do my core rehab exercises, right? For 15 minutes the next day. That could be your self-care goals. Number 1, at night, handwrite out your self-care goal and be specific. Number 2, identify distractions that rob your time and don't have long-term satisfaction. We're moms, so there are distractions that we have to take. Our kid gets an owie, whatever. We have to stop for that. But there are a lot of distractions that are self-imposed, or sometimes we can push to the side. Number 2, identify distractions that rob your time and that don't serve you in the long run. Number 3, step number 3, decide to take care of your self-care goal before you engage in distractions, right? Number 4 is a bonus. The bonus is share it with a friend. Tell somebody else of your plan, and you're way more likely to actually get it done. That's my 4-step plan to putting your goals before your distractions. Let me know in the comments, is this something that you feel like you can do? Do you have some kind of objection, like, I can't because X, Y, and Z? I want to know. I'm really listening. I'm really wanting to know how I can help you best. And I can share how I've overcome in my struggles and how I've helped thousands of other moms too. And as a bonus, I want to share with you in these next few seconds how I actually use this plan in my own life. Here's what I actually do. I literally, at night before I go to bed, number 1, I really try to get to bed as early as I can. I realize that even though I like to stay, would want to stay up, especially as I've come into motherhood, I have found that that's my only quiet time. So I want to stay up. But then as time has gone on, I realize that getting my sleep makes a huge difference for my next day. I just feel so much better. We'll get into that another time, but getting to bed early, as early as you can, how I implement this 4-step plan to put goals before distractions. You might be able to see it there on my, this is my bed over here. And on my nightstand, I actually have my journal, and I literally will write down, especially if I'm overwhelmed or I'm feeling like I'm not sticking to my goals, I'm not feeling good about my days. I get on my journal at night. I'll write down anything that overwhelms me. I write down the things that I'm thankful for. And then I'll also write down goals that I have for the next day or even for the week. At the beginning of the week, I like to write a few things that I really would be happy about if I got them done that week, because I know sometimes I may set a goal for the next day and it doesn't work out and I feel kind of like, oh, I didn't get it done. But now I set goals for the week because days go crazy, and even now sometimes the kids get sick and that day might be like a bust, and you just do the best you can. And as long as I get my goals done before the week is over, I feel pretty good about it. But anyway, I'll write down what I want to do the next day. And then in the morning when I get up, instead of grabbing my phone and getting on my socials, I try to do as much of the really important self-care things that will really make me feel good as early as possible. That's how I do it. You might find another method. I know some of my moms like to do things, self-care things, in the evening when their kids go to bed. But for me, sometimes I'm too tired or it just doesn't work out for some reason. And I feel good the whole day when I get it done as early as possible. For me, this whole concept of putting my goals before my distractions plays out in the morning. I try to get as much of my self-care done as possible before I get on my socials. I will, if I turn on my phone, I'm using it to do my prayer meditation, but I won't click on my socials because I know that distracts me and robs my time. I will wake up in the morning. I will do my prayer meditation. I have my water filled up the night before already at my bedside, so I'll start drinking that. Those are two big things for me. Making sure I'm staying hydrated, starting my day with prayer and meditation. And then before breakfast, I will plan to do my exercise, my workout. It's a 15 minutes. I do one of my Fit Club workouts that are on my Mommy Mango app, and I just feel really good about it. If I get those things done in the morning, I feel really good about it. That's another thing I just started doing recently too, is just getting dressed. I know it sounds silly, but as a mom, sometimes, I would often just get up and kind of lounge around in my pajamas or yoga kind of wear that I don't feel cute in. And one thing I started doing recently was before I even work out, I get dressed. Like, I'm in comfy clothes. Like, this is a workout outfit with a sweater like thing on top. I'll get dressed, do my hair, and not much. My daughter said, "Why do you always wear your hair in buns?" That's what I have time for. But I just try to make it look neat. I try to look neat and feel presentable to the world, and I just feel better. Those are some of my, I call Keystone Habits, that make me feel good. And as I go throughout my day, I feel so good because I've already gotten my rest, done my prayer meditation, started with water, did my exercise, I'm dressed, I'm ready for the day. And that has just made a huge difference for me. And not until I do those things in the morning will I start checking my socials. I just want to encourage you, because I know we can feel like we don't have enough time. But if we're here on our socials, we want to just make sure that this is making us feel better than doing that self-care. And if it's not, then I would encourage you to do some of those self-care things that only take 15 minutes or less before you get on socials and engage, if that's not balancing out well for you. Thank you to all the followers. And if you haven't followed me on YouTube yet, please go follow me. My goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We're at 94,000, so I'm super excited. We're so close.